On the news at 3. Federal government threatens to disconnect Gencos from national grid over infractions. House of Representatives dismisses alleged plot against Abbas, acknowledges members' grievance with Speaker. Plus, National Security Advisor Ribadu refutes claim of federal government empowering bandits as baseless. Good afternoon and welcome to the news at 3. I am Catherine Ago. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can subscribe or click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now details of the news. Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission (RSEC) has commended Rivers people for conducting themselves in an orderly manner in the just concluded local government, chairmanship and councillorship elections in the state. Chairman of the Commission, Dr. Michael Ekpai Ode, made the commendation while announcing results of the election at the RSEC headquarters in Port Harcourt. Melvin Jackson completes the result.
Dr. Ode, who also commended RSEC, stakeholders, political parties leaders, and security agents, stated that it is the responsibility of the Commission to announce the results credibly and transparently, and as such, enjoined the winners to carry everybody along in the scheme of things, adding that there is no victor, no vanquished.
Abua Odua local government. Chairman-elect for that LGA is Ofori Owolabi. He obtained the following votes: 28,755, 28755. Therefore elected. Abunu Victoria is the vice chairman-elect. Both belong to APC. Ahoda East, chairman-elect for that LGA, Solomon Abuba Kochoma. He obtained 54,509 votes. Lawrence Nduku is the vice chairman-elect for Ahoda East. Both of them are of the APC. Eugene Ekpele Chita, the chairman-elect for Ahoda West. He garnered 84,125 votes. Josephine Uba is the vice chairperson-elect for Ahoda West, both of whom are of the APC. Bob Fubara Aboya A is the chairman-elect for Apokutoro local government. He obtained 63,593 votes. The vice chairman-elect for that LGA is Wariabani Oriani George.
The RSEC chairman declared that the All Progressive Congress (APC) won 20 out of the 23 local government areas, while the People's Democratic Party (PDP) won 3 during the chairmanship polls.
Asari Toro local government. The chairman-elect for Asari Toro local government is George Onyegi Orefori. He obtained 56,383 votes. The vice chairman-elect is Deborah Amos Bogmani. Purple Blessing Abiye is the chairman-elect of Boni local government, and he obtained 13,543 votes. The vice chairman-elect is Ebinye Aga Alabel. Michael John Williams is the chairman-elect for Tebema local government. He obtained 61,536 votes. Vice chairman-elect for that LG is Harry Obuba Morin.
On the issuance of certificates of return, Dr. Ode said that the date for the presentation will be made known to the public in due course and subsequent swearing-in made. Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
Samson of Nazareth in the scripture neglected his divine gift from God and faced consequences that led him to ridicule and death. In this special report, Gaspar Anele examines the rise and fall of Samson and lessons to be drawn from his history in contemporary times. His reports.
Samson of the Bible was known as a notable Nazareth judge who possessed immense strength, which enabled him to kill even fierce animals like lions with his bare hands. In other times, the gifts from above gave him an edge to overcome certain challenges. Born with inexplicable powers, Samson was warned never to shave the locks of his hair, so to retain his strength but never adhered to the instructions, hence met his Waterloo with Delilah, a strange woman from Philistine. After making his mistake of disclosing the source of his strength to Delilah, she betrayed him by collecting 1,100 shekels from her people. Judges chapter 16 highlights the themes of faith, obedience, and the consequences of breaking the covenants and vows, the parties notwithstanding. Ministers of the word explained further.
So the issue of you maybe telling your members that you must not marry from another church, that another church is, you are like fighting the kingdom. So it must not really be from your kingdom or from your own church. And again, you should also understand that in Samson has a covenant with God. And there are covenants that is only between you and God that should not be related to another person. So God is a merciful God, but that does not deny him from punishing a disobedient child. So you must run away from disobeying God's command and God's rule.
Faithful said it is not wise to disobey God's laws.
God was telling Samson about Delilah. He gave him several warnings. Don't tell Delilah this. Don't tell Delilah. Don't even marry Delilah. Don't just allow your carnal mind to lead you to do that thing. At the end, you're going to make mistake and you end up in destruction.
Was to tell her where the source of his power lies. He also went ahead to allow her cut off his hair. And this individual act led to his downfall. It led to his death.
So women use the love the husband has for them to maltreat them, 50-60. They use it to maltreat them and also turn the children against their father. But we pray that God should help us in this our generation, because it's not good that the man will love you. Since you know that the man loves you very well, you'll be using that love against the man. So women should try to desist from that and make the family move forward.
It is expected that every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God should be obeyed to the letter to avoid condemnation and death. God's power, Anele, Rstv News.
President Bola Tinubu has expressed deep sorrow over the passing of Solomon Egiato Arase, CFR, the 18th Indigenous Inspector General of Police, who died at the age of 69. In a condolence message shared via the official Twitter handle of the Special Advisor to the President extended sympathies to the Nigeria Police Force, the family, friends and associates of the late officer, describing him as a highly resourceful officer whose reforms brought lasting changes to policing in the country. According to the President, Arase served the police force meritoriously from 1981 to 2016. During his career, he led tactical, operational and intelligence units, including United Nations peacekeeping in Namibia, the Commissioner of Police in Akwa Ibom, and the Principal Staff Officer of 3 IGPs. He said he was Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Force Intelligence Bureau, FIB, and Deputy Inspector General of Police, Force Criminal Investigation Department. President Tinubu also highlighted Arase's reformist legacies during his tenure as IGP, including the establishment of the Intelligence Response Team, the Complaint Response Unit, and safer highway patrols, which he said strengthened security. Had reported that the lawmakers were preparing for a showdown with the Speaker when the House reconvened on September 23. However, in a statement by the spokesperson for the House, Honorable Rotimi Akin, maintained that the lawmakers remained solidly behind Abbas. He accused the paper of elevating isolated remarks and informal conversation from House WhatsApp groups as if they represent the official position of House caucus or House himself. Rotimi stressed that the House operated according to established parliament procedures through which caucus leaders, committees or individual members could formally table issues for the leadership or, where necessary, for debate and resolution by the entire chamber. The federal government, through the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, has threatened to disconnect power generating companies from the national grid if they fail to implement the free governor control across their generating units. In power generation, a governor is a control system that regulates the speed or output of a turbine or generator as its primary function to maintain a stable speed or frequency. The order by the Commission's Vice Chairman, Musiliu Useni, and the Commissioner Legal Licensing and Compliance, Dafe Apeneye, will take effect on September 1, 2025. NEC ordered that any GENCO that fails to comply with the integration and activation of FGC on all generating units by November 30, 2025, will be liable to a penalty of a prorated 10% of the invoice associated with the defaulting generating unit, and any generating unit that records 19 consecutive days of FGC non-compliance shall be disconnected from the grid. The Commission said the measure was necessary to stem repeated system disturbances and reinforce strict compliance with the grid code. According to the Commission, the order seeks to establish a structured framework for enhancing power generation reliability and stability in Nigeria's power grid, frequency limits implementation, transparent monitoring mechanisms, and penalties for violations of the grid code. Meanwhile, the federal government has expressed concern that many civil servants are unable to benefit from its housing loan schemes due to heavy salary deductions from multiple loan taken from commercial lending agencies. Executive Secretary of the Federal Government Staff Housing Loan Board, Hajia Salamatu Ladi Ahmed, disclosed this during the Permanent Secretary's quarterly forum with union leaders organized by the Service Welfare Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. She explained that many federal workers had mortgaged their salaries by taking several sharp loans from private lending outfits, making them ineligible to service government-backed housing loans. Ladi Ahmed added that board was collaborating with mortgage institutions and private developers to make housing more affordable for civil servants. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. Still to come, Russian President Putin achieves understandings with US President Trump over end of Ukraine war. These and more news stories when we return from the break. Don't go away, stay tuned.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies fast.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen with good laws,
proper funding,
training,
and cooperation.
If it happen.
If it happen.
If it happen.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're welcome back. Now to the rest of our news stories. The federal government has dismissed the allegation made by a former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, that it empowers bandits as a policy. A statement by the Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, Nuhu Ribadu, described the allegation as baseless, adding that ONSA does not coordinate a policy of payments and incentives to bandits. It explained that from inception, the government adopted a dual strategy: decisive kinetic operations and community engagements aimed at addressing local grievances. The ONSA said it was unfair and insulting to the memories of the security personnel for El-Rufai to deny the sacrifices made by the military. Niger State Governor Omar Bago has dissolved his cabinet. The governor announced the decision during the state's executive council meeting at the council chamber, Mina. Governor Bago appreciated them for the services they had so far rendered towards the development of the state and wished them the best in their future endeavors. The governor, however, said he had retained his secretary to the state government, chief of staff, deputy chief of staff, and other principal officers in his office. And on security matters, troops of the Nigerian army have rescued 5 kidnapped victims, arrested a suspected extremist, and recovered armed during separate operations in Katsina, Edo, and Niger states. In Katsina State, a strike team from 8th Division ambushed terrorists at Yakasua in Malumfashi local government area, freeing 3 victims and recovering an AK-47 magazine loaded with 27 rounds of ammunition. In a related operation, troops of 17th Brigade responded to the distress call along the Malumfashi-Kafo road, forcing terrorists to abandon 2 abducted victims and flee, while a motorcycle was recovered. In Edo State, troops of a 4th Brigade under Operation Wabai-Zingan forward a robbery along the Ologbo-Saple Road in Ipoba, Oka local government area. They recovered a stolen vehicle, 3 locally fabricated guns and cartridges. Meanwhile, in Niger State, troops of 22 Brigade at Forward Operating Base Babana arrested a suspected extremist believed to be linked to insurgent activities during a transit operation. The army, in a statement, said the coordinated operations highlights its commitment to denying criminals freedom of action and restoring peace across the country. The Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, has announced plans to fully revive Delta ports as part of a broader strategy to boost Nigeria's economy and decongest Lagos ports. Speaking during a 4-day working tour of Delta ports, the chairman of the NPA board, Senator Adedayo Adeyeye, stated that President Bola Tinubu was committed to revitalizing Nigeria's port infrastructure to generate employment and support economic growth. Hannah Ibrahim has the rest of the report.
During the visit, Adeyeye and members of the delegations held meeting with the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Aborere, and other community leaders. Senator Adeyeye said the board will ensure that the ports in Delta are fully operational for the economic prosperity of the nation as well as job creation. To address the recurring issue of shallow draft and siltation, the NPA chairman announced the establishment of a Delta Channeling Management Company, similar to those operating in Lagos and recently proposed for Calabar Port, adding that the company will be responsible for dredging and keeping waterways navigable year-round. The Nigerian currency traded below the 1,555 naira per dollar range at the black market at the first trading section in September, while the dollar index started the new month on a negative note. The naira ended August on a bullish trend in the Nigerian forex exchange market, closing at $1,531.57. Nigerians' inflow of foreign currency increased due to higher remittances and foreign portfolio investment (FPI). Nigerian external reserve grew by 1.72 billion to 41.3 billion, giving the CBN some capacity to defend the local currency. CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso explained that the Nigerian diaspora's remittance increased by a 200% rise to $600 million in the last 2 months, which strengthened the liquidity mechanism in Nigerian foreign exchange market. Foreign investment inflows rose from 1.5 billion in June to 1.7 billion in July, indicating renewed interest from foreign investors under carry trade conditions and some global macroeconomic stability. The price of shea nuts in Nigeria has plugged after the government banned exports, with the product selling for 800,000 naira a ton, down 33% from a few days earlier, a report from Bloomberg has revealed. President Bola Tinubu has said the 6-month moratorium on shipments was needed to secure supply for local processors, create jobs, and protect a value chain where 95% of pickers are women. The ban is expected to have serious financial implications for major exporters, with some seeing it as an opportunity and others being skeptical that it will have a positive effect in the short term. Shea nuts, which are used in cosmetic and confectionery, fell to the news price of approximately $521 a ton at the close of trade on Thursday. The consultancy firm tracks agricultural commodity prices. Hannah Ibrahim, Rstv Business News.
And on the foreign scene, more than 600 people have been killed and hundreds more injured after the earthquake struck eastern Afghanistan. The magnitude 6.0 quake was centered 27 kilometers from the city of Jalalabad in Nangara province and hit series of towns in neighboring Kunar province. Let's join Deborah Olije as she tells us more from the foreign scene.
The Taliban government said numerous villages have also been destroyed. Rescue operations are underway and medical teams from Kunar, Nangarhar and the capital Kabul have arrived in the area. Meanwhile, supervisors dug through rubble with their hands searching for victims. A fugitive who allegedly murdered 2 officers in a small rural Australian town in the state of Victoria is being held by some members of the community. Police said Desi Freeman has been on the run since last Tuesday, when police arrived at his Porepunkah property to execute a search warrant reportedly relating to a sex crime investigation. His wife, Amelia Freeman, had earlier urged him to turn himself in and offered her condolences to the families of the officers he is alleged to have killed. Victoria Police said a rough risk assessment who conducted before 10 officers had traveled to his property, but specialist police support had not been requested. Russian president said he has researched understandings with U.S. President Donald Trump over the end of the Ukraine war at their meeting in Alaska. He did not say whether he would agree to peace talks with Ukraine President Zelensky, broken by Trump, who had apparently given Monday as a deadline for Putin's response. Speaking during a summit in China, President Putin continued to defend his decision to invade Ukraine, blaming the war on the West. A U.S. judge has temporarily blocked an attempt by the Trump administration to deport dozens of unaccompanied Guatemalan children back to their home country. District Court Judge Sparkle Suknana, an order on Sunday, was in response to reports children had been put onto planes and were about to be sent to Guatemala, where lawyers argued they would be at risk of abuse and persecution. Guatemalan President Bernardo Arevalo and lawyers for the U.S. Justice Department said the children were not being deported, but rather repatriated so they could be reunited with family. Since the start of his second term, President Trump has embarked on sweeping efforts to remove undocumented migrants, a key election promise that draws mass support during this campaign. Deborah Olije, Rstv Foreign News.
And on entertainment, the Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage has revealed how her tattoo was influenced by the agony of a broken heart. Sharon Iro tells us more.
She disclosed that she had to fly in a tattoo artist from Los Angeles to her house in Lagos because she does not want to express her pain publicly in a tattoo parlor. In a recent interview with a media personality, Savage disclosed that the session was bloody and the tattoo artist was worried. Nigerian activist and a social media critic, Martins Vincent Uti, popularly known as Very Dark Man, has condemned individuals and institutions he believed failed Fina's sister, Ruth Otabo, who died weeks after an accident involving a Dangote's truck. Ruth's death was confirmed yesterday by equal solicitors and advocates on behalf of the Otabo's family. Her passing came after weeks of treatment for severe injuries sustained in the road accident involving Dangote's truck near Auchi Polytechnic, Edo State. Reacting to the tragedy, Very Dark Man faulted President Bola Tinubu, the Dangote Group, and Nigerians with social media influence, accusing them of failing to rally support when Ruth was still alive and in desperate need of advanced medical care. Former Big Brother Naija housemate and TV personality Cynthia Wandiora, popularly known as Sisi, has shed light on the disadvantages of gaining fame from the Big Brother platform. Speaking on a podcast session with fellow ex-housemates Boma Apore, Sisi highlighted that while the Big Brother Naija show is a life-changing platform, it comes with its own unique set of challenges, especially regarding longevity in the entertainment industry. Sisi stressed that the sudden transition from obscurity to stardom can sometimes create a shaky foundation for many ex-housemates. She noted that they are thrown into the spotlight without its gradual process of networking, nurturing industry ties, or learning the ropes of sustaining a long-term career. Sharon Iro, Rstv Entertainment News.
And now sports. Bafana head coach Hugo Bruce has expressed his disappointment regarding the poor state of the Free State Stadium pitch in Bloemfontein ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Lesotho and Super Eagles of Nigeria. Odibi Tarinabo has the details.
South Africa is scheduled to host their neighborhood Lesotho on September 5th before facing a challenging match against the Super Eagles 4 days later. In a recent announcement of his 23-man squad, Bruce did not hold back his criticism of the venue, which was expected to be in optimal condition following the COSAFA Cup held there in June. It is clear from Bruce's remarks that he is concerned about the implications of a poor pitch on the performance of his team. In a strategic shift, Bafana will now stay in Johannesburg from Monday and will only make their way to Bloemfontein on Thursday for their matches. Morocco, captained by Ballon d'Or nominee Achraf Hakimi, could this week become the first African qualifier for the 2026 World Cup. A matchday 7 win over Nigeria in Rabat will give the Atlas Lions an insatiable lead in Group E unless second-place Tanzania triumph in Congo-Brazzaville earlier that day. But a Tanzanian triumph will most likely only delay the qualification of the 2022 World Cup semi-finalist Morocco. The Moroccans topped the table with 15 points from the 5 matches in a mini-league reduced from 6 teams to 5 by the unexplained withdrawal of Eritrea before match day 1.
Switch it up.
When Rooney has revealed that he was glad Manchester United got to play against Chelsea and not Liverpool in the 2008 UEFA Champions League final in Moscow. United reached a first Champions League final since their dramatic win against Bayern Munich at the Nou Camp in 1999 and landed their 3rd title thanks to a penalty shootout win against Chelsea. To get to the final, United edged out at Barcelona 1-0 on an aggregate, while Chelsea overcame Liverpool in a thrilling encounter in the semi-finals. Reflecting on the final, Liverpool-born Rooney, who began his career at Everton, said he hated going to the Anfield when he played for United as the thought of losing the game was just horrible. Odibi Tarinabo, Rstv Sports News.
Do you love and care about Rebel State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. With that, we conclude the news at 3. I am Catherine Ago. Thanks for watching and have a beautiful day.
Rstv, bringing you the news as it is.